So, going forward, like, what are your like plans for the community? Is there anything you want to say to the communities out there? Because you support not just Convoy, you support so many communities. You give them a platform to represent themselves. So, what do you have to say like going forward, like past this night market?
I mean, personally for me, that's what I've been all. How wild! Again, for everybody tuning in at home, this makes me a little bit emotional because that was last year's night market where we were able to have 15,000 of you with us, and I know we had turned some of you away with some unjust things happening, but you know, at the time, like, it was just so crazy because we were so overwhelmed by the support that we saw from the community. We saw the the need of the community to have events like this, to have spaces that we're able to connect. And so I think, again, my message still stays the same, and again, it makes me emotional. It's so cool to hear Timbo Slice back then wearing the mask, and you'll notice that obviously we were wearing those masks before pre-quarantine and all the crazy times that we've been through right now. And you know, at the time we were doing it because it was the trend, but who knew? Who knew that it would be the world that we're living in? And again, all of us, everyone on the team, they do it because they care. And I think that's why we wear the mask now, is because we care. What is my message to the community? We have to care for each other. We have to get through this together. And that's always going to stay the same for me. We're going to continue to grow our events bigger and bigger every year. 15,000 people is amazing. We hope to continue to grow spaces, grow venues with us so that we're able to have more of you there. It's very difficult on the back end. I'll share that with you. Anyone who's ever organized something for the community, or even just like organizing like a birthday party, think about it, and trying to get everyone together in one place. It's a hectic time, because you're trying to make everyone happy, but at the same time, you do your best. You try to make sure that everybody's safe, and you want to do it in a way that represents who you are, represents the community that you come from, and represents the values that you truly want to give out into the world. So we appreciate everyone out in the community who does care. And that's my message, I guess, out to the community with the San Diego and Me experience, is that us at San Diego Night Market, that's what we care about. We care about you as a community. We care about building with you all as a community, and that's why we continue. I'm sorry, I get a little emotional about it with all of this, but that's why we continue to do what we do. It's hard. We try new things. We volunteer our time with all of us to try these new experiences, but it's because every single time we take a step towards connecting more. We take a step towards building the community that we want to see with each other, and I think that's just such a beautiful thing. So thank you, everybody, for joining us at the San Diego and Me experience. How is everyone doing out there? I'm actually holding this Clorox wipe because I cleaned up the floor that I made a mess on, and that's what I got to do. But thanks for connecting with us. I'm going to drop this right now. And for the Charlie and Echo giveaway, we actually found a really cool quote. I think it's 60% of the time it works all the time. So apply that as you may. It's a quote from from the Ron. I don't know if Ron Burgundy says it, but Nandiska, thank you for saying that on Twitter. We definitely want to give this to you, so we'll message you afterwards. And for everybody at home, continue to engage with us over the summer. We want you to take everything at your own pace. Take the time that you need. Take the mental health breaks that you need to make sure that you're keeping on and you're getting back to the things that you love, because you absolutely deserve them. So for your experiences, again, at home, just hashtag SD and Me as you try this cool little quest book. If you want yours, you can go to Japanese Friendship Garden, Cross Street Chicken and Beer while they have some, or reserve it online and we'll mail one to you. And then the other way is you could also just see the template that's on our social media, and you can fill it out yourself. Again, we want to encourage everybody to join the San Diego and Me experience over the summer. It's an experience because of you all out there. So we want to thank you for doing that. And so take the time that you need. You can fill this out to September 22nd, the fall solstice, and get back out there, get back to that San Diego and Me experience. As we continue on, it's been such a fun day here at the studio and then out on the field. Selena's been doing a great job. We want to share that we've been able to connect with some amazing partners, and we've been lucky to connect with everybody through the San Diego Night Market and through this San Diego and Me experience. So up next is a neighborhood many of you have celebrated and we looked up to as the convoy district, Little Italy. So we've actually modeled a lot of what we do in Convoy after what Little Italy does. It's a chic, like pedestrian-friendly neighborhood packed with friendly cocktail bars, restaurants with bustling patios. They have upscale clothing boutiques, indie music venues, and quaint piazzas that dot the area. While the weekly Little Italy Mercato farmers market draws people to its mix of produce, gourmet food, and craft stalls. The green lawns of the Waterfront Park have fountains and they often offer views of the bay that are unmatchable. And anyone who's been there can definitely speak to that. We're checking in with Cecelia of Vocabulary Boutique now to hear about how they've adapted during these times. And we're here, we're going to call Cecelia right now at Vocabulary Boutique. Hey, Cecelia, how you doing?
Hi.
How are you doing today?
Let me get in the window. I'm doing really well, thank you. I'm actually really touched by everything you just said. It's a sensitive time.
I'm surprised I'm not like crying right now. It's like takes a lot of strength to keep it all in, but at the same time it means a lot. We put our hearts out on the line. I think you as a business owner can attest to that. You put your heart on the line by just being passionate about something. And just by simply taking like 1% a day, taking a step every single day towards that passion, towards that dream of yours, it brings more of us together. So I want to thank you for being here, and thank you for being at your beautiful store, Vocabulary Boutique. Can you introduce yourself and then how Vocabulary Boutique actually got started?
Sure. So I'm Cecelia Church, and I own Vocabulary Boutique in Little Italy. We've been open for 10 years, and part of the reason what you said resonated so much for me is that it's interesting to start to get good at something with experience and then feel like you're just starting brand new because of COVID, because of everything that's going on right now. So it's just a really interesting time. And we got started. I had actually worked freelance as a stylist and part-time at a retail shop that was actually here in Little Italy. I'd never worked retail before. I loved it. I loved connecting with the people and helping them get dressed for the events of their lives and getting to know them and facilitating their fashion needs. I love fashion. So it was a match. And then I actually took this business over from someone who needed to transition out, and I'm still here.
And we're so proud that you're still there. Again, we're trying to support our local neighborhoods and our small businesses however we can. It's there's no doubt. I say it time and time again, like throughout this stream, but it's challenging. There's no doubt. Everyone across the world has found this time challenging, and I think together we can all agree with that at the very least. And it's nice to hear the stories. It's nice to hear what matters to each of us, and again, why we're passionate about, usually why we're connecting with a community and through a community. So I guess my question to you would be like, what's it been like being in Little Italy for 10 years now, and what's it like connecting with that community out there?
It's amazing. So one thing I love about Little Italy is you have a really nice balance of people who like to travel to San Diego, and Little Italy is a destination once you get here. So you get to meet people from all over. Some of them maintain long-term relationships with us. Maybe they come to San Diego once or twice a year. Maybe they come on their weekends. Maybe they come once every 5 years, and they still make a point to come back to visit us. Like, how beautiful is that? And then we have an amazing community of people that live here and walk by and leave a comment, or, we know what they wore last Friday night for their rehearsal dinner. We know what happened a few months ago. We know the trip they're going on next month. Like, it's so incredible to have such long-term personal relationships with your neighbors. And then the business community here is really supportive and beautiful too. So it's a great familial experience, as it should be, right? Little Italy Italians are known for their familial connections, and I feel the blessings of that on a daily basis being in the community.
I love the words that are like, again, you mentioned that some of the stuff that I said earlier resonates with you, but some of the stuff that you're saying resonates with me as an event producer, just because again, like, we do this because we want to be able to connect with our community. We want to be able to connect with something bigger than just us. And something as simple as like what they wore to the rehearsal dinner. That's a huge moment in their life, and you were able to be part of that, and you were able to shed some positivity and some of your passion into that experience. So, when we create events like this, or something simply as you connecting with your customers and being able to share those moments with them, there's something very unmatchable about just trying to do that, and then being able to do that, and then seeing the results of it. So I guess one of my questions, now that you've said that, is like, what has been some of the, I guess, the most powerful experiences that you've had, or some of the most rewarding experiences that you've had connecting with your customers at Vocabulary Boutique?
So there's a woman here, this pops up right away. There's a woman that lives here in the neighborhood who comes to a lot of our events regularly. I love her. She shops here regularly. And she pulled me aside and thanked me for being here. And I said, "You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Like, you love to shop. I love to help you get dressed." And she said, "No, you increase our property values. You actually make our neighborhood more of a destination because people can grab a coffee and go to a nice restaurant and do a little shopping." And I had never thought about how powerful the role of small business is, and then to have it reflected to me as a small business owner and have someone be appreciative and grateful for it. It was very impactful. I would say that's even impacted some of my business decisions since then. It was a few years ago that she told me. And I had another sort of fashion crisis once. I had this young woman who shopped here. She was lovely. And she was going to a semi-formal event with her, I believe he was her husband. And unfortunately, the dress she purchased here by, might I add, like a high-end designer. Like, it was a really nice quality dress. The zipper broke when she was getting ready. And she stopped by with the dress on, with a broken zipper, and said, "What should we do?" And I said, "I'm going to sew you into the dress right now, and then you can go to the party, and your husband can cut you out at the end." And she said, "Okay." And it was just so cool. She was game. She didn't have another dress. She was wearing the dress she bought. It looked beautiful on her. And we worked it out. But like, that's a pretty intimate relationship to have, that you're going to shop, stop back at the boutique, not enraged, and just say, "Please help me."
I'm so glad you shared something like that, because, for me, I feel like when we're running around and doing events, or just in our lives in general, like, we're constantly moving so quickly, and we're moving at such a rapid pace that we're forgetting to connect with the people that are around us. And, while we're unable to connect with everyone at every single moment,
Sure.
we often remember like the really meaningful times where we just took that extra couple of minutes to say, like, "How are you doing? Are you doing okay? How can I help?"
How can I help? Yeah.
Way? And it just seems like that you represent that as a business owner. You were there to help them. And again, I love speaking to business owners that are like this, who care about their community, who put people over their profits, and that's truly such a special thing. We're really curious, like, how has everything been in the store? How are you adapting to these new times? What does it look like when people come in, and how has it been for you?
Yeah, so as I said, it feels a little like we just started a brand new business. We closed immediately, obviously, as we were ordered to do, and then we took a minute. And at first I was really scared. Like, what do I do? How do I pay the rent in 3 months? There's not a lot of extra, right? So it was just a moment of pause. And then I actually did succeed in getting a small business loan through the Federal Small Business Association, which gives me some breathing room to sort out how to move forward. They were amazing. And I said, okay, there are a couple things I've always wanted to do. So let's do them right now and see what happens. It's sort of a forgiving time. There's sort of a general consensus of they're doing their best and everybody's trying to make do. And for some reason, personally for me and professionally, that gave me a little space to try a couple things that for whatever reason I was hesitant to try before, but had really wanted to. So two things happened. I started an earring club because I have a lot of jewelry, and I thought I have enough customers that shop here regularly. I could just ship them earrings, right? And people signed up, and I got really excited. And then I shot a video where I tried something on Instagram, and I said, okay, ladies, like, here's how it fits. These are the sizes that I have available. Are you interested? And then I started getting DMs, like, just send me the medium. How do I pay you? Here's my shipping address. And I thought, oh my God, this is so fun. So as uncomfortable as it sort of is to be on video, even right now, it's really neat to get to find a way to communicate to people. I chose these pieces as options. This is why. And if they work for you, please let me know. And then to have people say, I want that, I need that. And then let me know afterward that they've worn it or they're really enjoying it or they're looking forward to wearing it if they ever get to go out again. And that's been a really special experience because it's my way of connecting with them, which has always been the most meaningful part to me for being here. And I almost get to do it more intimately, even though it's virtual, because they might be in their bed while they're texting me. You know what I mean? Like, it's not necessarily from 8 to 5 and their makeup's done and whatever. And I get to ship to their house. So now my mail carrier takes packages from my house every day and talks to me about, like, if he's taking tomorrow off, I should write a special note to his substitute. Like, it's just a whole different game. But honestly, it's actually been quite fun. And I'm curious to see, for myself and for other businesses, what practices are getting invented right now and what are temporary and what will actually change the business plan moving forward. Because I think some of the things we're trying will really work.
Absolutely. I've said it multiple times throughout the stream today, but you know, again, our business owners are some of the most resilient people just across the city. And
relentless is the word right now.
You know, we're like, okay, so there's an obstacle in our way. Let's get around it. So, you know, for a lot of people, if an obstacle comes in front of them, we can't just stop there. We have to figure out, okay, how do I sidestep? How do I keep moving forward? How do I get around that obstacle? How do I tackle something new? Again, this has not been an easy time for anyone out there. I don't know. I have not spoken to anyone who's been like, yeah, this has been a breeze. Like, I mean, maybe for our introverts, like, I'm partially introverted myself sometimes, and there's like some moments where I'm like, I love being at home and just taking that time for myself. And I think, you know, for our introverts, we have those moments, but at the same time, like, just again across the scale, like, it's been hard for people to figure out, how am I going to survive through these times? How am I going to pivot? How am I going to sidestep from this obstacle in front of me? And how am I going to keep moving forward? So I think a very powerful, you know, thing that relates to that is just finding your community during these times, finding the people that are willing to support you, like the customers that come in and who have been so open to trying, like, your earring club and all of those new things that you're putting out. I think specifically, like, as an artist, I don't know if you think of yourself as an artist. What have you thought that, like, how does art heal you during these times? Because in a way, you know, obviously you're creating something new, and you're sharing that with other people, which puts you in, like, a vulnerable state. So I was curious how you think your art has either helped you heal or maybe helped your community around you heal at the same time.
So, two things. As far as that work with vocabulary, I definitely put myself out there in a pretty, I'm not sure what the right word is, like, to put myself on camera and then talk about what I do and why I do it, and to, you know, show my body in the clothes. And that was very artistic in a way. Like, I have to put the outfits together and I have to embody them and talk about why I do what I do. And it's very personal. And then the element of video is tricky, right? Like it's hard to watch yourself on camera and say, okay, I'm confident enough to share that. And then to have people connect is almost like they're saying it's okay for you to be here, and in fact, we want you here. And isn't that one of the most healing things? Just feeling love from people that you may not necessarily have known that they loved you, even if it's in a distant commercial way. It's still affection, and it's still connection, and it's really powerful. And then I want to share, during the Black Lives Matter protest, I saw the Time magazine cover, and I've seen a lot of artwork that's very powerful, and I've been moved by it. And I was stopped in my tracks by that image. I have a small child, so there is that element of losing your baby and losing your people and having them taken from you that is beyond devastating. And my hope was that if art is this powerful, that it can take over, whether it's a short or long period of time, it will change the world. And I hope that healing, whatever steps we have to go through, I hope that it is healing. I believe that it is healing.
I'm not sure if you were able to tune in earlier. We actually had a really powerful piece that was shared by Johnny Pucci, and he did it.
I did not see it, so I will check it out.
And no problem at all. I think what we're so excited about this live stream is for anyone who wasn't able to tune in, come back and see like how we tackled this like San Diego and me experience, and how we got back out into the world safely, how we figured it out with our business owners, and again, just wanted to put some positivity out there through things like art, through things like having conversations and dialogues. But we talked with Johnny Pucci earlier, who did a mural on Peking Cafe, which I believe is the oldest San Diego Chinese restaurant that unfortunately closed down last year because their family no longer wanted to run it. But it was just such a powerful piece because it just showed so many communities coming together in this moment of time. And they are not easy moments of time at all. But I mean, you were speaking to it earlier as an artist that, you know, the way we're able to share our voice is important. The way we're able to share our art is equally as important. And the way we do both creates this healing for our communities. And again, each of us has our own communities that we connect with. Each of us has movements that we're passionate about. But as long as we're sharing that voice, and then also taking that time to listen to each other during it all, it goes bounds. And so, you know, we had reached out to you for this conversation to speak on like how you've been adapting and how things have been changing in your life, but you've also like tried to figure out how to move forward with it all. And it's really amazing to hear you speak on all of this, because you know it takes a lot of introspection. It takes a lot of time to work through all these emotions. I definitely have my moments where it's okay to not be okay during these times. So I think it seems like you've had these moments yourself, and I just want to ask you, you know, how can we continue to support you in the future? You know, for me myself, I really appreciate this conversation and that you were able to speak on this. But how can we continue to support you as this resilient artist, business owner in Little Italy, and any, I guess, closing words that you might have for the audience?
Sure. So you can follow me, Vocabulary Boutique, on Facebook or Instagram. You can book private appointments. We're open here and there certain hours, but generally speaking, we really want to hold private appointments, because then we get to have more special time with you. It's built into the schedule. We can even pre-pull things if you're in a hurry. Like, it's actually a better way to shop, in my opinion. So
Hmm.
I'm excited to move in that direction. You can DM me, you can text me. My cell phone is out there. Um, you can email me, Cecelia at vocabulary-boutique.com, and let's meet. You can join my earring club, which is an actual product on our website, and there are
Hmm.
3 different subscriptions customized specifically to you after we do a little interview, which is really fun. And this is, an example. How fabulous are these? And they show up at your
I
door every
know.
month, like a
Gorgeous.
present to you. It's amazing. And it's inexpensive. So you could go to vocabulary-boutique.com.
Thank you, Cecelia. Again, I wish I had more time to speak with you on all of
Oh,
this, but keep connected with us. Like, this project was the San Diego Night Market as part of the Convoy District. Our intention is to build with all our neighborhoods across San Diego, and like Little Italy. Again, we're so proud of all of the blossoming business owners that have been able to stay resilient during these times, have been able to lead these dialogues and conversations through art. And so we just want to say thank you for sharing with us today. And I definitely hope that I can continue to work with you in the future and talk with you more, because
thank you.
it's been such a powerful conversation with you here on this live
Thank you
stream. So
so much for having me. And thank you for what you're doing. I know it's huge, and I really appreciate it. I think it's wonderful.
thank you, Cecelia. We'll talk more soon. So take care, stay safe. We'll see you.